Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Fundamentals of Programming course. In today's session, we will be talking about a concept related to functions called recursion. Generally, when we are using functions in our programs, the pattern is that the main acts as a central function from where other functions are called. One scenario can be that you have three different user-defined functions in the program. One takes input, the other operates on the data, and third shows results onto the screen. So yeah, in that case, the pattern would be that main will call the first user defined function where the input is taken from user. The first function will call the second function for the operation on those inputs, and the second function will call the third function for displaying the result onto the data. So in this case, one function calls another function, but sometimes what happens is that the function calls itself. This usually happens when we have to do repetitive tasks but with updated arguments. For example, we have to calculate the factorial of 5. So 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Here what we have to do is that we have to multiply these two numbers first. Whatever result comes, that we have to multiply with the next number coming in the sequence, and whatever results comes from these numbers is multiplied with another number, and that result is multiplied with another number. At each step, we are basically doing the same task again and again, however with the updated arguments. So in scenario such as this, we can basically call the same function in which we are currently present. This procedure of calling the function itself is known as recursion. Recursion comes from a set of words like recurrence and repetition, and it basically means that we are calling the function itself. We are not calling some other function that is defined elsewhere. However, we are calling the function itself, and that procedure when a function calls itself is known as recursion. And this is basically this phenomena is used where we have repetitive tasks. For example, in Fibonacci series or in factorial calculation. In Fibonacci series, what we are basically doing is that we are adding two numbers, and whatever the result comes, we just add that result to the next coming number. So at any stage we just have two numbers, but in every iteration when the function is called, those numbers are updated. So we have to perform the same task but with updated arguments. So we can use the same piece of code that we have written time and again for our purposes. This phenomenon is known as recursion, where the function calls itself because the nature of task is such. So let's look at an example of how we can calculate the factorial of a number using recursion. Till now we have calculated factorial using loops. However, another way of calculating factorial is through the recursion. So this is our main program, and this is our factorial function. And in this main program, we call the factorial function with an argument whose factorial has to be calculated. For example, here we had to calculate the factorial of 5. So this 5 it was transferred to the user defined function using the function call. Here you can see that there was no need of prototype because function was defined above the main program. So and num used to hold the value 5, and that was received here in the variable n. So what is happening in this user defined factorial function is that we are basically making use of the recursion. Whenever we are making use of a recursion, there is a base case. Base case just implies that when after the base case arrives, we just have to start returning the values back from where the function calls were made. We'll look at it in a couple of minutes. That would be more clear. Just think of it as unless we get to the number 1 while calculating the factorial, it means that the factorial has not been completely calculated. So we keep on calling the function again and again unless we reach the number 1. Similarly, that base case tells from where we start to return our results. Another case for the similar scenario can be that 5 factorial equals to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. We start multiplying from this side. So as soon as 1 arrives, we know that the factorial has already been calculated, because the factorial of any number has been calculated before it is multiplied with 1, because anything multiplied with 1 is basically the same result. So the factorial has been calculated before 1 has arrived. So as soon as the 1 arrives, what we do is that we started returning those values and multiplying them with each other. So similarly, what we will basically be doing is that first we multiply 1 with 2, and then whatever result comes, that gets multiplied with another number, and whatever result comes here, that gets multiplied with another number, and whatever result comes here, that gets multiplied with another number for the obtaining the result. So as soon as 1 arrives, it means that the factorial has been calculated and we need to go back to calculate our result. So here n less than equal to 1, whenever n becomes 1, this technically means that n becomes equal to 1. So as soon as the n becomes equal to 1, or n becomes less than equal to 1, as the condition says, we return 1. This basically means that the factorial has already been calculated and we need to close our functions back. As and unless the factorial is completely calculated, we will be opening our functions time and again. As you will see that the functions will be opened again and again, but as soon as the base case arrives, we will be closing our functions back for the calculation of the result. So let us look at how this phenomena happens of recursion. We know that what if we write some expression after the return statement. For example, if we write return a plus b, what happens is that first this expression is evaluated. For example, it was 3 plus 4, and then returned back. So 7 will be returned from where that function was called. So in this scenario, what is happening is that what is written after the return statement, it is written n multiplied by factorial of n minus 1. But we saw here that the expression is calculated first and then returned back. So when the expression will be calculated, an interesting phenomena will happen here. The function from in which we were currently present was called again. However, this time the argument was 1 less than the previous time. Here the function was called with the argument 5. Num has the value 5. So the function was called with the argument 5. However, this time the function itself will be called again, but this time with the updated value 4. And this will keep on happening. The function will keep on calling itself until we start returning the values. And let us look that in detail. So what we have learned till now is that we have a base case in recursion from where we start to close our functions, and until the base case arrives, we need to call the same function again and again, however with the updated argument. So let us look here. यहाँ पर हो क्या रहा? What was happening here is that as soon as the 1 will come, we will start returning our values. However, until the 1 does not come in the argument, we will keep on opening the same function again and again. This whole side of the board is just the visualization of what will be happening. It is not actually that this function is written this many times in the program. No, the program only consists of this side of the board. However, to better understand the concept of recursion, this side of board has been written so as to enhance your visualization. So what happens is that we call the same function again, however this time with the argument 1 less. when the function was called in the main program, it was called with the argument 5. However, here we call the same function again but with argument 1 less. You will soon know the importance of this. Then as soon as the function was called again with the argument 1 less, what what this technically equates to, it is just like calling another function with passing an argument. However, this time another function is the same function. These two are this chunk of code is basically the exact replica of this piece of code, and this has been written only to enhance the visualization. What happens is that when the factorial is called, it goes back here. It checks again if n is less than equal to 1, 4 is not less than equal to 1, so it will come again, it will again call, but this time factorial's n would be 4, so factorial n minus 1 would be factorial of 3, so this will again call this will again come here, this will again call this. So here the visualization becomes very difficult. So I have written these pieces of code for the enhancement of visualization, is where the same lines of code that was written here are exactly replicated in this piece of code here. So factorial of 4, when factorial of 4 is called, this basically is the same code that was written there. If 4 is received here, it is again checked if we have arrived at the base case. We have not arrived, so it calls the function again. However, this time with the argument 1 less. From the main function, the argument was 5. When the function itself was called, it was called with an argument 1 less. Here the function again is called itself but with the argument 1 less. This is basically the same code that was written here. It is important to note that all these lines of code are not written in our program. Our program is just this simple. This has been done just for the enhancement of visualization. This function is called again, so factorial is called again, but this time with argument 1 less. Again, n is not less than equal to 1. It again calls the same function again with argument 1 less. And this again calls the function with argument 1 less. Now we have arrived the base case. Now when we will call the function, when the function call will be made, the argument will be 1. So we are at the base case when n is less than equal to 1. N is equal to 1 now, so we will just return 1, which technically means that the factorial has already been calculated. Till the base case arrives, we were just opening our functions, opening the same factorial functions again and again without returning. We never returned till now. For example, from here the function factorial was called. Here it was not returned because we saw that the expression is evaluated first and then returned. However, this expression evaluation included the same function call again, that is basically the recursive call when the function calls itself. So we call the same function again, then we call the same function again, then we call the same function again, and then we call the same function again until we arrive at the base case. We have not returned anything. We have just opened our function again and again. Now as soon as the base case arrives, we need to close our functions back, and then the return calls were made. The first return call is always made from the base case. Here the base case was this was the base case, and the value 1 was returned when the base case arrived. So 1 was returned back to where this function call was made. This function, when the return statement comes, it does not go back here because this function call was not made from here. The first function call was made from here, and the next function call was made from here, and the call after that was made from here, and the call after that was also made from here, until the base case was arrived. So it will go back to here, which technically means that it will go back to here, not back to the main function, because the call was happening from here. And this thing returns back to this place. Factorial of 1 call was made through this place, and 1 returned back here. Now now when this thing is returned, which is basically the 1, what happens is that this expression gets evaluated. 2 multiplied by 1, which is basically equal to 2, it gets evaluated and is returned back from where the function call was made. This time the function call was made from here. We were still not back to the main program, because the function calls were not made from the main, they were made from this particular place. So we return 2 back to where the function call was made. This thing when comes here gets multiplied with 3. So 3 multiplied by 2 is, which is basically 6. Expression is evaluated here and is returned back from where the function call was made. The function call was made from here. So 6 goes here, and this particular thing 4 multiplied with 6 becomes 24. This expression is evaluated and this thing 24 is returned back to where the function call was made, and this function call was made from this place. As we can see that this function called here, and when the return will come, it will go back to this place. Taking the value 24. So 5 multiplied by 24, this expression gets evaluated here, which becomes equal to 120. And this again we have the return statement here, which return statement now goes back to from where this call was made, and this time the call was made from the main. So we have to go back to the main from where the function call was made, and there the result will store the value 120 in itself. So we carried on opening our function until the base case arrived, and as soon as we opened this function here, we again opened this function, we again opened this function, and we again opened this function. But here the base case arrived, so we do not need to open the same function again. Now we start returning our values back, and we do not return straight away to the main. However, we always return from where the call was made, and in this case the call was made here. It returns the value here, it gets evaluated here, and this particular call returns the value back from where the call was made, and the call was made here. And this call and this result evaluated here returns back to where the call was made. This call was made from here, and this result is returned back to here, because the call of this particular function was made from here, and here the function returns back to the main, because this particular call was made here, and now we have the result, that is basically the factorial of 5, which is 120. So in recursion we saw that we have a base case, and we keep on calling the same function again and again until the base case arrives, and as soon as the base case arrives, we start returning all the values. But the returns don't directly come back to the main, they come back to where the function was called. So this function was called from here, so it returned to here, and this function, this particular this particular piece of code was called from here, so it returned the value back to here, and this particular line of code was lines of code was called from here, so it returned the value back here. And this particular piece of code was called from here, so whatever will be returned back will be returned to this place. And this function, this particular function call was this particular function was called from this place, so whatever will be returned back to this place from where the original call of factorial was made. So that is basically how the recursion works. Recursion versus loops is basically a tricky question. When the performance is important, we should make use of loops, because recursion takes more time to execute. However, when the performance is not crucial, you can make use of recursion. Recursion is also used for calculating the sum of Fibonacci series. You can try this on your own, and certain tasks where the repetition is necessary, however, the arguments need to be updated. For example, in the case of when we are searching the binary trees, that would be more clear in the data structures course. However, the recursion is also a phenomena that you should know. That's pretty much it from today. Summarizing everything is that recursion is basically when the function calls itself, and recursion is applied where we need to perform the same task again and again. However, with the updated argument, and how the recursion happens, recursion has a base case, and until the base case arrives, we call the same function again and again. However, with the updated argument, and our logic comes here at this place. So the function, the same function keeps on opening again and again until the base case arrives, and as soon as the base case arrives, we start returning back the values from where that particular function call was made, and eventually we come back to the place from where original function call was made. But at this point we have the calculated result at our disposal. So our code is just simply these lines. However, everything that is written on the right hand side of the board is just for the visualization. This whole thing here is just for the visualization, because it would have been tough to visualize from here that first function call is made here, then the function call is made here, then the function call is made here. So it would have become very complicated to visualize those things. So we refer to it as opening the functions again and again unless the base case arrives, and as soon as the base case arrives, we return our values back where all the arguments that were 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 are basically multiplied with each other, thus calculating the factorial. This is one concept of recursion. That's it from today.